Denji、悪魔が出た。仕事だぞ。
I'm going to develop a whole new system based off of introspection. And there's no character to do this better with than Denji to represent the modern archetype of man, because a lot of you guys are dealing with the same thing. And I think it's finally time that we address it. I was waiting for a moment to build up a little bit of an audience and, get it out there. But now I'm going to start to push for a better narrative instead of like this overall just low tier stuff, because I know you guys want to change and you guys want to improve, but I don't want to keep giving the same generic advice over and over. So I'm going to go a little bit more in depth in this video, and as you can tell, I'm using my voice for once because I actually care and I actually want to instill some good advice going forward. And I am going to make a plan as I made with the Hoban and like all that stuff, all the daily plans. But this one's going to be a little bit more introspective and a little bit more progressive, because it's going to be very, very life altering. And I think everyone should go through this in order to become the best version of themselves. With that being said, let's get into the video. So, why am I using Denji for this? And what am I even trying to explain? Within every man and woman, there lies desires, there lies a drive, and there lies purpose. Now, a lot of those things are not always for the right reason, and more often than not, a lot of guys get them for the wrong reasons. A lot of dudes are doing things for the complete wrong reasons. And what do I mean by that? Let's say a guy who strives to become super big in the gym, right? Why are you even doing that in the first place? A lot of guys are literally doing it for reasons that are completely in vain, and that's why you see very little amount of people who can actually stick to their routines and get big, or get the results that they want. This is because, for example, let's say someone felt like they were never accepted, they didn't look good enough, etc., etc. So you're doing this because you want to get better in that aspect, and that's not a bad thing. But sometimes it goes deeper than that. Sometimes you feel like you're never accepted, and then you do bad things. Now the gym is a different example because it's a good thing, but there can be things that guys do. Like, for example, every issue that people have is a tendency off of some manipulated desire. So let's say when a guy wants to manipulate women, right? This is very basic. This is a very common thing within men who can attract women. Why do they do that? Because they feel a lack of power, and they feel a lack of control when they were a child, and that's usually what brings them to that. Now, for every person, it is different, and for every person, it does change a bit, but for the most part, it's usually an issue within childhood traumas or things that they experience that help them create some sort of fake identity within themselves, a distorted desire. And now, why am I going to use Denji as an example for this? Denji is basically drive incarnate. He doesn't have anything, and the whole story of him is to be present and to be grateful for what you have. I made a video on this like 2 videos ago, but I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on it, because Denji starts off the story, right, with only wanting bread and jam, and he wanted maybe in his wildest dreams a girlfriend. But every time he escalates and every time he gets what he wants, he just keeps on wanting more and more, and that's the trap of society. You will continue to do this until you realize that what you have is enough. And then from there, that's when you pinpoint what you actually want. And you have to want these things for the right reasons, or else you're going to continue to be like Denji, and you're just going to continue and keep messing up over and over again. And when you get what you want, you're not going to be happy, and you're just going to be living in an endless cycle of just sadness and pointlessness. And you've seen a lot of guys who have like literally everything that someone could want and still end up, just quitting the game. I don't know if I can say here, but there's a lot that goes into this. So the method that I'm going to encourage you guys to do, the first step, which it's going to take a lot of time, because trust me, this is not a process where you sit down one day and you're just like, oh, I want this. No. The first step, and I'm only going to give the first step here because it's a whole process. The first step is looking within yourself and seeing why you do the things that you do. You cannot go past that point. You cannot force yourself to stop doing anything. You cannot change the way that you act. But whenever you feel a strong emotion or towards something, whether it be sadness, whether it be happiness, simply ask yourself why, and then write it down, because that will help you figure out why you do what you do, right? And a lot of times people realize that what they're doing is not the right thing. They're doing it for some conceited reason. If you continue to live like that, without thinking or ever thinking outside the box, you're just going to continue living like Denji. You're going to get what you want, and you're not going to be happy. And the issue with this is that your soul will never be satisfied, because your body wants something that your soul doesn't want. You can consume everything: power, fame, flesh, comfort, and you will still feel hollow. And that's the whole thing that Denji is trying to teach. Well, the author, Fujimoto. The behavior in Denji's character isn't even like Gooner material, right? Because everyone views Chainsaw Man just like a shonen, just like a degenerate anime where Denji literally just wants boobs and stuff, and that's literally not what it is. They're missing the whole point. Denji is like the basis of desire within man, and he just keeps wanting more because he wants to survive, and the primitive force driving him is hunger and desire. But he's starved. He has no actual morals because he doesn't understand anything. So beyond that, you need an objective basis for what you're doing in the first place. You need a reason to understand why something is good and why something is wrong. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't understand, because even like for Denji, for example, how would he understand what is right, what is wrong, what should be and what should not be? It's a whole like web, a whole string of just internal messes that a lot of people have to figure out. So I'm going to end this video here, because I'm going to get a lot more into it into a longer video, but I need to know how this is recepted, because if it's not actually doing anything, then there's no point in going into it until, you know, there is that need. But if you guys want help, or if you guys want to continue this process, I am glad to help you in the Discord, or just message me. I think I have my email there, or however you feel. There should be multiple ways to connect. Just let me know. And yeah, this is one of the first times I've used my voice in the video. I don't really mind using it, but just for like more in-depth things like this, I want to be able to, you know, actually talk off my mind rather than writing it down, you know? So thank you guys for watching. I hope you subscribe, and if you enjoy the video or have any questions, let me know in the comments. And yeah, let's continue to build this channel, guys, and build this community. I just want to help anyone that is dealing with things and wants to get better. The whole point of Power IQ is to increase your power and your IQ. That's the whole thing. But there's a basis that lies beyond that. Those are just two extensions of yourself, guys. The whole point is to step behind that and then fix what's behind that, and that is yourself. So with that being said, have a good day, everyone.